All right, good morning class. Today we are going to start with our do now. Your do now is on the board. You are going to start with a vocabulary word today. Your vocabulary word for today is going to be cricket. We are going to write down the definition. Cricket, according to our dictionary, means a behavior that is dishonest or illegal. Once the timer goes off, you need to be prepared to share out your answers. So, characteristics of the word cricket. We have that it is an adjective because it is describing something or someone using a behavior. Examples or synonyms of the word cricket would be twisted or torturous. And some non-examples, the opposite, the antonym, would be honest or decent. Does everyone understand? Thumbs up if you need any help. Okay, let's move on. So our objective today is that students will be able to analyze a text. Give me 1 second. Students will be able to analyze a text, and we are going to do that not only by analyzing a poem by Gwendolyn Brooks called Kitchenette Building, but also taking a look at some pictures in our gallery walk. On your handout, class, everyone hold up your handout. On your handout, you have a page titled Gallery Walk. On that gallery walk, you will see that you need to write down what you notice and what you wonder about each picture. So before we start our gallery walk, I want us to take a look at this map. Remember, class, that we have been talking about the Great Migration. With the Great Migration, most African Americans in the southern region of the United States migrated north between the years 1915 and 1917. We've already discussed on reasons why they migrated up north. Now we are going to take a look at some pictures of apartment called Kitchenette Buildings. Let's see. So, what is a kitchenette building? A kitchenette was an apartment divided up into a series of small rooms, which were rented out, sometimes to entire families. I want you guys to imagine this classroom in 4 parts. That would be like the size of your apartment if you migrated from the South and rented out a kitchenette building. Remember that these kitchenette buildings were the buildings that were mostly available to these African Americans families that came up from the South. So there wasn't much options as far as where you could live once you migrated up north. So on your paper, you are going to write down what you notice and what you wonder about the exterior of a kitchenette building. Let's take 2 minutes to jot down what we notice and what we wonder. All right, now here's our next picture. This is the interior of a kitchenette building. Somebody raise their hand and tell me how many people do they see in this picture? Yes. Okay, yeah, I counted about 7 people. Remember that these kitchenette buildings were to house your entire family, no matter how small. What do you notice? Yes, I noticed that too. So all of the beds seem to be concentrated in one area, and the family members are getting ready in the same area as well. Let's take a look at another picture. Here we have another interior of a kitchenette building. Please take 2 minutes to write down what you notice and what you wonder. All right, can I get a couple students to share? Very good. I noticed that there is a stove in the background, right? It looks like the family is looking at a TV screen or a living room. And then this looks like a headboard. Yeah, I see that too. So here we have a headboard, their bed, their kitchen, and their entertainment all in one area. Right, we do notice up here that there's clothes hanging, so this is kind of like their laundry room as well. Very good findings. All right, so on your paper, you have 2 questions about kitchenette buildings. You are going to answer in the first question, what do you think African Americans hope to find when migrating up north, getting away from Jim Crow South? Your second question is, how do you think African Americans felt about the reality of having to live in a kitchenette building once they migrated from Jim Crow South? All right, you will have 5 minutes to complete this. Okay, now for your exit ticket, we are going to actually backtrack and start with our poem and our poem analysis. So here we have Gwendolyn Brooks' kitchenette poem, and I'm going to read off the poem for you all. You are to follow along, underlining words or phrases that I put emphasis on. Kitchenette Building by Gwendolyn Brooks. We are things of dry hours and the involuntary plan. Grayed in and gray. Dream makes a giddy sound, not strong. Like rent, feeding a wife, satisfying a man. But I could dream, but could a dream send up through onion fumes? Its white and violet fight and fried potatoes, and yesterday's garbage ripening in the hall? Flutter or sing an aria down these rooms? Even if we were willing to let it in, had it time to warm it, keep it very clean, anticipate a message, let it begin? We wonder, but not well, not for a minute. Since number 5 is now out of the bathroom now, we think of lukewarm water, hope to get in it. All right, so you guys are going to analyze this poem. You are going to gist each stanza because good readers write down the who and the what of stanzas to get an overall gist. You are going to number your lines. Circle any unfamiliar words and underline key details. Remember, class, that the words you underline throughout the poem need to correlate to your gist. Okay, any questions? Let's get started. All right, now it is time for your exit ticket. Please follow the criteria for success that we have displayed on the board in order to get 100% on your exit ticket. So we have restates the question, answers the question, supports your answer, and uses 5 sentences minimum. Ready? You have 7 minutes.